Hello everyone, my name is Marissa Redenbaugh and I work here at the Lebanon Public Library. I'm your juvenile services librarian. I am going to be reading you some stories today, and our theme is all about letters. After I get done reading our books, Racheal will come onto the stage and she will share with you a craft relating to our theme. The first book that we're going to be reading is called A Busy Creature's Day, Eating, and it's by Mo Willems. Many of you are familiar with Mo Willems' works, but maybe you haven't read this one. Apples, berries, cereal, donuts, eggs. I don't know what to eat next. Furniture. No, we don't eat furniture. Gravy, huge hot sauce halibut hoagie, ice cream, jacket, kilt, lunchbox, mayonnaise, napkin, potty, queasy, rice, saltines, tea, vomit, water, kisses, zonked, the end. So that was just a silly little book about a little creature that eats all kinds of things that maybe you shouldn't eat. The next one we're going to read is called If the S in Moose Comes Loose. If the S in moose comes loose and the E breaks free, what's left? Moo. A gloomy moo from cow, who doesn't know what to do, all alone without her moose, whose E broke free and whose S came loose. But cow has an idea. I'll get some glue. Then I'll moo my best moo and slather the glue all over the S and on the E too. I'll press my moo and those letters together, and my moose will be back better than ever. Wait! Uh-oh. I'm out of glue. I'll just spell it. That's what I'll do. G-L-U-E. 4 little letters. How hard can it be? Let's see. First, a G. A goat gallops by. Wait, a goat? Greetings. Hi. I gather you know you begin with a G. Could I get you to graciously give it to me? Goat scratches his beard. Sounds weird. What'll I be without my G? What'll you be? Says cow. Wait here and see. Cow bolts to find her buddy bear asleep as usual in his favorite chair. Hope you don't mind if I borrow your bee. I've got a moose emergency. Your fur and claws will disappear and you'll be, well, an ear. I got it, goat. This B is for your G. And ahoy! You're a boat. And me, I get a G for my glue. First letter's done. Now where's letter 2? I'll glue my moose if it's the last thing I do. Who's got an L to lend to sell? Look, a lake, an L I can take. Cow has an idea. This will be a piece of... Cow races for the C in the chair. I'll hope you be comfortable sitting on hair. I'll put the C where the L used to be. And instead of the lake, boat's sailing on cake. G is done, L is too. I'll glue my moose if it's the last thing I do. Now where in the world would I get a Cow, you've got some splaining to do. Goat is gone, a boat's on a cake. It also looks like we've lost our lake. Bear has vanished into thin air, and what's with the ear on that heap of hair? It's like this, splutters Cow. My moose came undone. I'm making glue, and oh, Bull, I never knew. You've got the most enchanting you. Enchanting? Bull blushes. Could it be true? It's yours, says Bull, if it's useful to. Wait a second, I'm on to you. Bummer, says Cow. My you fell through. Cow's on the run, but there's nowhere to hide. Wait, a house! She ducks inside. House has a U right there in the middle. Cow pulls and pushes and tugs it a little. And house with no U leaves a hose. Cow wants her moose back. Anything goes. G and L and now this U. One last letter and I'll have glue. Moose, I promise I'll come through for you. I need an E. But no one hears. Except maybe. Listen, ear, you began as a bear. I dismantled your chair. I need your E. Last thing, I swear. Ear eyes Cow uneasily. Oh no, Bull's still after me. Off in a flash, Cow makes a mad dash. Wait, a cart, look out! Crash! Uh-oh, everything's a big mess. Cow grabs the C that came off the cart and Bull's left behind with some very strange art. Look, ear, a C. Here you are. Voila, you're a brand new car. And I'll take that E, which finally completes my glue. I'm ready, Moose, to re-glue you. I'll just moo. Hold it. Moo. Where is the S? Where is the E? Without them, my moo is useless to me. Cow jumps in the car and grabs the wheel. The engine roars, the tires squeal. She scoops up the S right where it fell and chases down the E as well. She slams on the brakes. She leaps out the door. This is the moment she's waited for. Cow stirs her glue, takes a deep breath too, and moos the best moo she can possibly do. She glues the S right next to the O and sticks the E on the end just so. And then she lets go. Moose! What? Where? How? Who? Oh, Cow, I am glad to see you. Welcome back, my beloved friend. Thank you, says Moose, for putting me and us together again. And the little boat, who used to be a goat, says, can I have my G back? Well, that one was just silly, wasn't it? I do like letters, and along with letters, sometimes we have to use what we call punctuation. Things like commas, periods, exclamation points, and question marks. So this next one is called The Day Punctuation Came to Town by Kimberly Gard. A new family moved to Alphabet City, the punctuations. Exclamation point led the way to their first day of new school. Let's hurry, he exclaimed. I can't wait to get there. We are going to have so much fun. Exclamation point was always excited about something. Question mark wondered what it would be like. Do you think everyone will be nice? Are we going the right way? Should we ask for directions? Period followed, bringing the line to a close. Let's go. I'll tell you when to stop. Comma kept pausing. Wait for me, please. When they walked into school, exclamation point burst forward. Hi, everyone. The little letters stared. Who are you? They asked. You don't look like letters. We're not letters, exclamation point explained. We're the punctuation family. The punctuation who? The letters were confused. I'm exclamation point, and this is question mark, comma, and period. We're different from letters, but we love being around words. The punctuations joined the class. The letters worked to make words. Exclamation point, question mark, and period joined in the fun. Exclamation point added excitement to words. Wow! Question mark asked a lot of questions. Who? Period brought each sentence to a tidy end. Stop. Comma tried not to get stepped on and fit in wherever he could. Oh, no. As the day wore on, comma began to feel smaller and smaller. The letters love making words, but I just get in the way and keep them apart, he whispered to himself. No one wants me here. When no one was looking, comma snuck out the door. Inside the classroom, exclamation point was creating a great deal of excitement. The letters were cheering and hurrying to make words. Shouldn't we quiet down? Question mark asked, but no one heard her over the noise. The letters kept making words faster and faster and faster and faster. Soon words were everywhere. There were so many words they all became jumbled. Period hurried to stop them, but the letters tripped over her and collided. With a thundering crash, the letters fell, one after another, until they all tumbled through the door, spilling into the hall. Comma stared in shock. The letters were piled. The words were all mingled. Exclamation point, question mark, and period ran into the hallway. They saw the heap of letters, and then they saw comma. What are you doing out here? Question mark asked. I didn't think anyone wanted me around, comma sighed. I just slow everything down. Comma, without you, things become a disaster, exclamation point said, pointing to the pile of letters and words. Period nodded. Slowing things down is your job, and words need you. Didn't you know? When we're with words, we all have a job to do? Question mark asked. I add excitement, exclamation point burst out. Have a question? Question mark asked. That's what I'm here for. And I've put a stop to things, period said. We're the Punctuation family, and we all work together to help letters and the words they make. The punctuations helped the letters back into the classroom. When the letters began making words again, comma stood right in the middle. The letters looked confused. What are you doing? It's my job, comma said. From now on, I'll help keep things in order. How? The letters asked. It was comma's turn to explain. We all work together. Words need punctuation, and punctuation needs words. That was all about our punctuation family. Okay, the next one is a very beautiful book called West Coast Wild. And it is a nature alphabet. There is a wild and beautiful place where an ancient rainforest meets the ocean, where whales swim and eagles soar, waves splash upon a windswept beach, and sea and sky go on forever. Would you like to visit this special place? Come and explore the Pacific West Coast. Discover some treasures of land and sea by turning the pages of this ABC. A is for an ancient forest that towers over a long sandy beach. Heavy rain falls in this rainforest and turns the trees into giants. Some are 800 years old. B is for bears that den in the rainforest. At low tide, a hungry black bear ambles down to the beach and flips over rocks to find tasty crabs to eat. C is for cougars that prowl at dusk and dawn. In the dim light, a big cat pads silently across the sand, hunting for raccoons, deer, seals, and other prey. D is for Dungeness crabs that scurry along the ocean floor. As the crab grows, it sheds its shell and forms a bigger one. Beachcombers often spot the old shells. E is for eagles that soar overhead. Bald eagles nest in the tall trees of the ancient rainforest. Soon these eagles will grow long feathers and learn how to fly. F is for fish that glide through the cool ocean. Eagles, bears, and orcas feast on salmon. a fish that is prized by many West Coast animals. G is for gray whales that swim in a long way. Every spring, these gentle giants travel from the warm waters of Mexico to lush feeding grounds in the Arctic. H is for huckleberries that brighten up the rainforest. Sweet berries are a summer treat for bears and birds. They gobble up these forest fruits. I is for invertebrates that live in the sand and sea. The ogre sea star is an invertebrate but an animal without a backbone. J. J is for jellies that shimmer and shift in the ocean currents. If they are jostled, these graceful creatures will glow in the dark. K is for kelp that washes up on shore. Thick kelp forests grow underwater, providing a home for many young fish and other sea life. L is for limpets that cling to the rocks. Each small snail has a pointy shell and a strong foot that grabs on tight. Sea stars and birds devour them. M is for marbled murrelets that nest in the mossy branches of a tall rainforest tree. Every day, the parent birds fly to the ocean to catch fish for their baby. N is for newborn, a black-tailed deer seen for its first spring. A fawn's spotted coat blends in with the light and shadows of the forest and helps the new baby hide. O is for orcas that leap and dive in the West Coast waves. Orcas travel together in family groups called pods. Watch the young whales play. P is for Pacific Ocean, the biggest ocean in the world. Its waters teem with life. Listen to the roar of the great waves. Feel the mist on your face. Q is for quillback rockfish that swim near rocky reefs and live up to 100 years. These fish have sharp quills for stinging seals and other enemies. Rain is for rain that showers the coast and gives life to the forest and all of its creatures. More than 10 feet, 3 meters, of rain falls in a year. S is for sandpipers that flock on the beach. Every spring, these tiny birds rest and feed on the mudflats before they fly north to have their babies. T is for tides that rise and fall endlessly. At high tide, water washes over the sand. At low tide, beachcombers find tide pools full of colorful sea anemones. U is for urchins that creep along the rocky ocean floor. A sea urchin has a spiky body like a porcupine. Sea urchins are a favorite sea otter snack. V is for Valela Valela, or by the wind sailors that drift in the waves. Like little blue sailboats, they float on the water and catch wind with their sails. W is for wolves that swim in the ocean and roam in the forest. Coastal wolves fish for salmon, dig for clams, and eat mussels and barnacles on the beach. X is for Sophister, a prickleback fish that swishes through the tide pools and hides under rocks. This fish breathes air. Y is for yellow, the color of the sun on a hot summer day. The bright sun shines down on the coast, giving light and warmth to all living things. Z is for zone, the intertidal zone, where land and sea meet. Every day, tides ebb and flow across the zone, revealing more ocean treasures for you to discover. And that is the end. I just think that's such a beautiful book about the Pacific West Coast. All right, the last book we have today is called The Uppercase Trouble in the Capital City. This is by Tara Lazar. And this book stars the character Private Eye. I was dozing in my chair when Question Mark barged into my office. He looked bent out of shape. "What's the matter, Mark?" I asked. "Don't ask," Mark said. "I'll run out of ink." "True. This town is full of questions. I need your help, and his help too." He grabbed exclamation to emphasize the point. Finally, Mark spelled it out. All the uppercase letters are missing. That's impossible, I said. This is Capital City. Private Eye, you're the last capital letter standing, said Mark. I sat down. This was serious. If all the capital letters were gone, there'd be incomplete sentences dangling everywhere. The entire city would be thrown into chaos. Plus, I had to watch my step. I could be next. I told Mark I'd take the case. It was tough catching up with all the types I needed to interview. Hyphen was busy dashing around town. Period was directing traffic. Ampersands was minding her P's and Q's. Apostrophe was gathering his possessions, and comma was dividing her time on a huge list of things. Luckily, the quotation twins were willing to talk. Yeah, something's definitely up besides us, they said, but don't quote us on that. I needed a solid lead. I strolled into Cafe Uno, or Afe No, as it was now known. But my favorite waitress had been replaced by her little sister. She didn't look happy. Why so low? I asked. B didn't show up for work this morning, Little B explained. B is always the second one here. We don't know where she is. I was at a loss for words, especially words starting with B. Here, B left this. Little B handed me a slip from B's order pad. It was full of stars. Aha, a noteworthy clue. Sometimes asterisk gets mistaken for a star, so I questioned my old pal 8, who lives below him. But we came to a dead end. After a long day on the case, I sat on my stoop and watched the sky darken. Oh, B, where could you be? That's when I noticed a faint glow coming from the old abandoned part of the city known as Cursive Loop. First thing in the morning, I took the train out to Cursive Loop. I circled the winding streets looking for clues. A cold wind whipped around me, and I began to lose hope. Maybe I needed a plan B. But wait, what was this? I picked up the paper trail. And there they were, high above on the movie marquee. Gee whiz, what happened? I asked. Help, replied Gee whiz. Exclamation stuck us up here and then knocked over the ladder. He promised to put us all in the movies, said B. I always wanted to see my name in lights. Phew, I never thought I'd want to be a lowercase, said Gee whiz. So exclamation was the explanation. Follow me, I said. Could he still be with question mark? I knew those two together spelled trouble. The Capitals and I barged into Mark's place. Just as I suspected, exclamation was right beside him. You're no punctuation, Mark, I said. You're just a punk. Exclamation is crooked, yelled Gee whiz. Lock him up and throw away the keyboard, cried B. Now, let's all calm down, I said. Everyone stop shouting. Exactly, exclaimed exclamation. I'm tired of all the shouting. Can't a guy get a little peace and quiet? Capital letters are always calling me, exclamation, he said. Yes, ha, OMG, he yelled. They want me to join them, as if they aren't loud enough on their own. This was mind-boggling and ear-splitting. On the outside, I may look excited, but sometimes I need silence and calm. I want to relax with a good book, exclamation said with a sigh. I understood his point. I love a good detective story myself. I hear you loud and clear, I said, but sometimes you don't want to be big and brash. You're too important to fade away. Huh, I'm important, exclamation perked up. Sure, you're more than just a lot of noise. You're about attention, respect. In the end, you make a huge impression. You can be a straight stand-up guy. Just then the grammar police arrived. This is totally out of character for you, exclamation, they said. Come along, we've got to book you. According to the letter of the law, exclamation would serve a short sentence. Turns out that cooling off period was just what he needed. As for B, well, she's always been a star in my eyes. I had wrapped up another case and I hoped trouble in Capital City wouldn't return. Famous last words. Well, that is the end of our Capital City mystery. And in case you liked this one, there's another one about numbers called 789, written by the same author, Tara Lazar. Alright, well that is all the books I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed them, maybe learned a little something about letters and punctuation. And now I'm going to turn it over to Racheal for our craft.
Okay, hi friends. This week we have a letter Z that looks like a zebra. So the printable option and the curbside option are very similar. So for the printable option, you'll get a piece of paper that looks like this. You'll print that out and you'll cut out your Z and you'll cut out all these stripes. You can use as many stripes as you want or you don't have to use them all. I didn't use all mine. You cut out this circle for his little nose and then you cut out his little eye and glue it there. So it's pretty simple. And then the only differences in the curbside craft is that this is on a little bit thicker paper, so you'll get that, and then some pom-poms to give him a little fuzzy nose. And he can have a googly eye, and then 2 popsicle sticks that you just glue together on the back so that you can make it like a little puppet. So those are our simple crafts for this week. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.